Thank you Storyblocks for making this video possible. So DJI decided to make this, my new favorite gimbal, the Ronin SC. There you go. I always felt like the original Ronin S was a little bit too big, so having this new Ronin SC with a couple little minor upgrades makes this a wonderful thing to have. I've actually not even tried to use this yet. I haven't shot a single thing with it, so I'm really stoked to get out here and shoot with the new Ronin SC in Laguna Beach. Let's get to shooting. The Ronin SC is capable of carrying 2 kilograms, or in American terms, that's 4.5 pounds, which is definitely plenty for most mirrorless cameras. Everything you need to get shooting comes out of the box with the Ronin SC. There's 2 versions, there's a Pro version and a standard version. The Pro version comes with a focus knob so that you can control your focus. If you were shooting on a manual focus lens, you're gonna wanna use that. Then maybe go for the Pro version. But honestly, I think for most people, the standard kit is gonna be perfect. The normal version is $439 and the Pro combo is $539. It comes with this great, comfortable tripod grip thing. I really love this. It was on the original Ronin. They've refined it even more here. It's really lightweight, kind of made of a polymer plastic material rather than metal. And that's what I'm really finding with this, is it feels a lot lighter to hold because it's not all just rigid metal. This is definitely metal here and here, but down here we have just some plastic pieces that are really sturdy and they feel really comfortable to hold. But yeah, the tripod on the bottom here is great for setting the gimbal down when you're not using it, and then when you're actually using it as an additional handle grip here so you can use both hands. The battery life on the Ronin SC is great at about 11 hours of standby time. So that means when you're actually using the thing, you'll probably get 10, maybe 9 hours. The back motor is offset, just like the original Ronin S. That way you can see the back of the screen when you're filming. A lot of cameras like the Sony A7 and the Nikon Z6 and the new Panasonic S1 don't have a flip out selfie screen that can kind of articulate off to the side. It's right down the middle. And a lot of the older gimbals actually had a motor right in the way of the screen. The Zion Crane, for example, was really popular for doing this. And by the way, one thing that you might have noticed as I've been talking about this gimbal is not moving. It's because it's in a lock mode, and this is one of my favorite new features on the Ronin SC. You can completely unlock and lock all axes of this thing with these switches. So now it's all loose, but all I gotta do is just boom, hit the lock button and it completely locks itself. So this thing's gonna pack down really neatly, and it's not gonna wobble around like crazy like the Ronin S did when I would pack with that. Often I would have the Ronin S hanging out the side of my backpack or something, and it would just flop around. So I ended up bringing Velcro or like rubber bands or something to kind of keep the thing from wobbling around. Now with the locks, totally solid. You don't have to worry about that anymore. All these things kind of pack really nice and small, and it's really compact. It's super easy to use. This little nub here, it seems small and kind of pointless, but it's actually a really great tool for balancing. All you have to do is just mark where the plate goes on the gimbal and lock it down. And now you just slide the camera plate onto the gimbal like so. And you stop right where that little nub is located and you lock it down. It's got this great mechanism here that'll kind of clicks, and then when you let go it stays still. It's just little things that you can see that they've really refined here on this gimbal, making it a much more professional tool. Even though it's smaller and lighter, that does not mean that it's less professional. The Ronin SC is capable of doing pretty much all of the things that the Ronin S can already do. You can do low mode with this. I really love getting super low shots on a gimbal. I think it shows the most movement and kind of the most smoothness. It's a very gimbal shot. It's really hard to pull this off any other way. I used to use a glide cam and flip it upside down and do shots like this, but it was never as good as what you can get with an actual gimbal. So you can do the low mode perfectly on this. Just make sure that if you're using a camera with a flip out screen like this, that it doesn't get in the way of this motor here. I had to push the screen in before I could do the low mode and then pull the screen out. Having a camera like the Z6 is great because like when it's super low, you can't see the screen. So I have it out like that. You know what I mean. You can also do the 360 spin on this gimbal here. It's really cool because it goes automatically straight up like this, giving you the ability to do that infamous 360 spin shot. If you click the trigger on the front here 1, 2, 3 times, it goes into selfie mode, but I can actually vlog with this here. I don't think anybody really vlogs with gimbals. It kind of looks weird. You kind of want the shake with a vlog, but if you want to do selfies with a gimbal, you can do it. Honestly, shooting all day with this thing yesterday at the beach was a real joy. I shot for probably 5 hours at the beach and I did not get tired using this. The gimbal is very lightweight. Like I said, it's half the weight of the Ronin S. I'll put that on the screen, the exact weight, because I don't know it off the top of my head. And because I'm using a camera like the Z6, which is a much smaller body style, I always felt like the Ronin S was a little bit too big for my needs. The gimbal comes with a little phone mount thing that you could put on top of your camera or on the side bracket here. I don't find it to be very useful because the only features that you can really do with the phone are the active track mode, which is cool. It's a great thing that it's there, but I never really use an active track mode either on a drone or especially not on a gimbal, but it is there if you want to track a subject that's maybe moving faster than you can move. There's a sport mode on the gimbal, which is great. So if you are shooting sports or high action stuff, the camera will actually follow wherever you point and it moves nice and quick. You can do motion lapse with the app as well. This was on the Ronin S. It makes your time lapse look much more dynamic. There's also this new mode with the iPhone app that looks pretty cool if you have a dual operator setup. It actually uses the accelerometers built into your phone to control the gimbal's perspective. You need a way for your operator to see the feed wirelessly, otherwise it's kind of pointless, but it is cool that they're allowing you to do this at such a cheap price point. So this could actually be used on real filmmaking sets and on real high-end production if you're shooting on a smaller camera, like say a GH5S for example. So what are some of the big differences between the SC and the S? Well, first off, the grip is smaller. It's about half the size. You can see how much grip is coming off the end of my hand here versus this one. It's a lot smaller. It's not as long, which means if you're doing selfie mode on the Ronin S, you're gonna get way more in the shot. To be completely honest, unless you're shooting on a DSLR or a cinema camera, I highly recommend the SC. Other than the locking mechanism that's on the SC, they're almost identical for the most part. I mean, you've got the same controls with the record button, the mode switch button, the joystick, the power button, and then the two mounting points on the side here. I'm using a Polar Pro mount on the Ronin S that you can use here if you want to use an external monitor. The Ronin S obviously has more connections on it. On the front here, you can see there's like a USB port and a power port. Those are for motors and things. So if you're doing higher end production film work, then even though this one works, you're probably going to want to use the Ronin S still for most cases. The Ronin S is $100 more expensive, and I think for most people, the Ronin SC is a much better gimbal, and it happens to be even cheaper than the Ronin S. One thing I forgot to mention is it does have the same USB-C port in the front here, which means that you can charge it using a MacBook Pro charger, which I do all the time. I think we've come a really long way with gimbal technology. I started with the Freefly Movi M5, and now we have this. I think the Ronin SC, like the Ronin S before it, is a much better and easier to use form factor with a built-in stand, so you don't have to carry around a stand all the time with you. And because this is so lightweight and affordable, I think this is going to be probably the most popular gimbal to be sold in 2019. So check out the Ronin SC. I've got a link in the description below if you want to pre-order this thing. I think they're shipping really soon, so make sure to put your order in and get one of these if you're interested in picking one up. Even if you don't like it, you can return it later, but maybe pick one up and see for yourself if you like the Ronin SC. But that's my first impressions and first look on the Ronin SC. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm going to be doing other videos on this gimbal throughout the week, so comment below any ideas, questions, or tests that you want me to do with this new gimbal, and I'll try to do that on this channel, so comment below. Again, I'd like to thank our sponsor today, Storyblocks. Storyblocks is an amazing tool for any filmmakers or content creators out there who need to spice up their footage a little bit and have some better B-roll at their disposal. It comes in all sorts of flavors as well. You can get a lot of stock footage in 4K, you can get it at 1080p, you can get it in a high bit rate, a lower bit rate, and the footage is just amazing. I highly recommend using Storyblocks for your stock footage because for $15 a month, you can get an unlimited amount of footage for your videos. Click the link in the description below to learn more about Storyblocks and to support this channel. Once again, I'm Dave Mays. This is Kinoteka. See you next time. Ooh, yeah, baby. Nice and smooth right there. I like that right there. The SC is real smooth.